Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Gloria and thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today I wanted to talk about the 10 houseplant leaves that are my absolute favorite. I want to talk about why I like these certain leaves or show you guys just so you guys can have an idea and maybe go out and buy these yourself. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any of my new videos. And yeah, let's just jump right in. Okay, so plant number one is going to be a philodendron, and this is the philodendron El Choco Red. So this is honestly the most beautiful plant I've ever seen in my life, and it has all the characteristics that I really enjoy in a plant. So there's the velvety leaf portion and there's also the heart leaf portion. So I really like those traits in a plant, and this is how it's looking like right now. As you can see, this newest leaf is humongous compared to the previous leaves. I mean, this one is quite ugly. It's small, it's kind of yellowing, and this was another leaf that came out of my care, but this one is just like 3 times the size of the previous leaf. The backs are a little bit kind of like reddish, but they come out with more red in the beginning and slowly fades a little bit, but I still don't mind it because it's so stunning. It looks pretty much kind of like a splendid, but with a slightly darker leaf color. Very much enjoy this. It's still a seedling, so I'm not too hopeful that it will grow very large very quickly, but I think if I give it enough time, light, and love, it will grow for me, and I'm super happy I have this in my collection. So that's why I wanted to talk about it for the first plant on my list of favorite houseplant leaves. Moving on, I want to talk about a Hoya. This one is one of my favorite Hoyas because of the very striking veining, and it's the Hoya VITELLINOIDES. And as you guys know, it's honestly humongous. So the leaves are huge. Look at this one. And these are the 2 leaves that came with the plant when I initially bought it, and these top leaves are what grew in my care. So there's this little baby leaf at the front here that's, you know, still growing. These 2 leaves have hardened off, and it's very nice. I love it so much. It's just so amazing and so low maintenance. It transferred so easily into LECA and didn't have any transition shock. I find this a very easy beginner-friendly plant, and also just very striking leaves, so that's why it's one of my favorites. Plant number 3, I want to talk about a syngonium. So this one is one of my favorite syngoniums, and it's a Syngonium Wendlandii. So sometimes people call it a rayi, and I don't really know the difference. I think it's the same plant, but it's essentially kind of like a darker green velvet leaf with a very stunning silvery white streak in the middle. So very beautiful. The small leaves are so tiny. As you can see, this is what the plant came with some kind of like dying leaves, but the new leaves are very amazing. Just look at that. It is kind of a little curled up. I think it might be from too much light, honestly, but I have no other place to put it, so that's why I don't really want to move it. But if you look at it from the top, it looks really amazing. Just look at that. Oh my god, it's so stunning. It's one of my favorite syngoniums. Clearly you can see there's a pattern that I really enjoy velvety type leaves for any of my aroids. So outside of Hoyas, I really like velvetyness and just like very soft, buttery feeling leaves. So those are usually my favorite. Moving on to plant number 4 is another syngonium, and this one is a syngonium that I really enjoy for its variegation. So that's also kind of a thing that I usually look for when I'm buying a plant, and this one is going to be the Syngonium ALBO. So I'll show you the cuttings that I made recently because I'm trying to make the plant look more bushy and full. So I've recently given it a little bit of a chop. This is how the Syngonium ALBO looks like, and it's just so amazing. Each leaf can have a different kind of set of variegation, so the pattern looks different. There's more speckling on this one, more chunky variegation on the other one, and it's just so cool to be surprised with how the leaf will come out, and it's just like unexpected. Obviously, unless it reverts on you, then that's not a good surprise, but for the most part, if you give it enough light and the genetics of the plant kind of allows it for it to have really good variegation, you won't really be disappointed with this plant. Which is why Syngonium ALBOs are one of my very favorite plants in terms of favorite houseplant leaves. Plant number 5 is going to be another philodendron, and this one gives me melanochrysum vibes, but it is bigger, it grows faster, it's a little bit easier, and the only difference I would find with this one is it has no lobes, so you guys probably guessed it, and it's my GIGAS. So this is the top cutting of my GIGAS, which I've recently chopped it back because the bottom pieces were dying off just because it's like, you know, winter, it's colder, it's drier, and the plant is, you know, taking a little bit of a hit. But that's okay because there are so many new beautiful leaves, and it's just, this one is kind of dying off, but I did take a pretty big cutting. This is a 4-leaf cutting, but I still think it looks really amazing for being a cutting. So it's still rooting, and it's just so much easier than a melanochrysum. Melanochrysum leaves tend to kind of get stuck as they're trying to unfurl and come out of its sheath, but the GIGAS doesn't have this problem, and it doesn't push out long runners sometimes like a melanochrysum does. So that's why I really like this leaf, and I don't really mind how it has less lobes at the top, so it doesn't have those like little bunny ears. But the GIGAS is honestly very good of a plant. I really enjoy it, and I think everyone needs a GIGAS in their life if you're able to find one. They look really good as like a hanging plant, or even as a plant that's growing up a pole. Next up, plant number 6 is going to be my Hoya Mathilde, which I haven't shown you guys in a while, so I'm just gonna take it out and give you guys a little look. This is the Hoya Mathilde. It looks really amazing right now because it has a 3D trellis going. It looks really full. It doesn't ask for much. It's really cute because I like how round the leaves are. The flowers that come out are really, really cute. It hasn't bloomed on me yet, but I still have hope because there's so many peduncles on this plant that I'm just so surprised that the peduncles keep blasting, but it's just a matter of time. So this one has some splashiness, and it looks really, really nice. The leaves are a little bit circular and more ovalish, but still kind of round, which I really like that in Hoyas, and it's splashy. So I really like this. I like splashy Hoyas more so than variegated Hoyas, which is why the Hoya Mathilde is definitely one of my favorites. I don't have anything bad to say about the Hoya Mathilde. Plant number 7 is going to be an Aglaonema, which I know you guys are probably so sick of me talking about my Aglaonema Silver Bay. So this is this beast of a Silver Bay. It's humongous, it's so easy, it's so wonderful, and it's one of my favorite common plants that I have in my collection. I just think that this is very low maintenance, and it's such a good kind of statement plant because the leaves are so big. The leaves have very, very stunning silver variegation with some splashiness and different kind of shades of green, which make it really, really unique, I find. And it has bigger leaves than other Aglaonemas, like the pink ones or even the Maria. There's so many different Aglaonemas out there, but I think the Silver Bay is probably my favorite. I think if you're looking for a common plant, you should definitely get one of these. It's a good kind of gateway plant into the plant community so that you know you're able to care for your plants before you move on to more expensive plants. Plant number 8 is a Hoya Sunrise. I really like this Hoya because it can sun stress. So another factor in leaves that are my favorite are leaves that can turn red under really bright light or bright grow lights, bright sunlight, doesn't matter what type of light. But this is the Hoya Sunrise, which honestly is so stinking cute because it's, oh, always drop leca everywhere. So yeah, this is the Hoya Sunrise. So amazing. It looks really, really cute. I haven't had trouble with this Hoya lately because I rooted it in leca, and I haven't, you know, done what I did with my previous Sunrise. If you guys know, you know. But this is the new Hoya Sunrise, which I really enjoy. There aren't a lot of Hoyas that look really cute kind of sun stressed because I think some kind of look burnt, but this one kind of gives like an overall entire like redness to the leaves, which is more like cohesive and even, and that's why I really like the Hoya Sunrise with its sun stress patterns. Next up, I want to talk about an orchid. So because this is a terrestrial orchid, I will kind of group it with the other houseplants and not kind of have it in the orchid group. And I mainly buy these types of orchids for their foliage anyway, and it is the Ludisia Spiderman. So this is a hybrid with the Ludisia this color and another Ludisia, I believe, and it's just a very, very stunning, striking Ludisia. And I think that the reddish pink tint to the leaves really kind of make it stand out. This one does grow a lot more slowly, and it is more prone to root rot compared to just the regular Ludisia discolor. but I still really enjoy it. And if you were to buy jewel orchids for their flowers, you probably will be disappointed compared to just buying it for their foliage, which is why this one is in my top 10 favorite houseplant leaves, because these leaves are just so amazing. These are not the leaves that you expect for an orchid, and that's why it's not in an orchid group, and I put it into my houseplant group. I treat it more like a houseplant compared to an orchid anyway. Okay, we're on to the last plant of the list, and this one is another Hoya, and it is the Hoya obovata. So this Hoya is actually very cute because, once again, I like the circular leaves, similar to the Mathilde, but this one is just a bigger, rounder leaf compared to a smaller kind of roundish oval leaf. And let me just grab it right now. It has very oval leaves, so if you give it less light, it will have darker green leaves. If you kind of give it too much light, it will turn kind of like a bleached light green, which is what happened with kind of half the leaves. I'm not too mad about it because at least I saved it from rot, and I still have this one in my collection. So it is what it is. You learn from your mistakes as a plant parent because you can't be perfect and you just have to come to accept it. But this one has rooted very well in the leca and it's very happy now. So I really like this. I hope you guys can find yourself an obovata. I like the regular obovata more so than the variegated one because the variegated one does not have as round and circular and as circular of a leaf compared to the regular one. So that pretty much concludes all the plants that I wanted to talk about for my top 10 favorite houseplant leaves. I hope you guys enjoyed. Comment down below which one is your absolute favorite houseplant leaf, and I would probably say mine is my Philodendron El Choco Red, which is coincidentally number 1 on this list. And yeah, that one is my favorite, so I'd love to know what your favorite is, so comment it down below. If you enjoyed, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.